What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Your Upline. Hey, this just happened to me on Facebook, and I wanted to jump on here, do a quick episode, and share this with you because this is the reason why so many network marketers don't make any sales, are broke, and they don't build a large organization. And it's one of the main reasons why so many people think that we're a big scam and that we're a bunch of slick snake oil salesmen. So if you want to build a profitable business, then stay tuned because we're going to go over it. We're going to see what not to do, and I want to share with you what to do and how to change this so you build a successful business. So let's get to it. How do you build a successful business in network marketing when everyone you know thinks it's a scam? How do you achieve that dream lifestyle when 99% of distributors quit within their first year, broke and worse off than when they started? If you ask the so-called experts or talk to your family and friends, they will tell you that it's impossible, that it can't be done. But it is being done, and it's happening each and every day by a select group of people that you probably never even heard of. My name is James Cuilty. Join me as I seek to find out how these elite few beat the odds and succeed in network marketing. Welcome to Beyond Your Upline. Hey everyone, so here's what I wanted to go over with you. And if you are not utilizing Facebook, you are missing out on a huge opportunity. And what I mean by Facebook is there is so many people that are on Facebook and they're running promotions, and it's a great free resource for you when you're scrolling, that to actually be looking at the ads that pop up and don't just be annoyed and like, ugh, but actually look at them, and anything that catches your attention, right? Go through that process to see how they're selling. Because if you continually see an ad over and over again, guess what? It means it's working and they're getting a lot of traction from that. And you want to model that for your business. All right. So this is what popped up into my newsfeed. Okay. It says immediate remote work positions available in November, 4K bonus, weekly and monthly income. Right. And that's it. And at the time that I did a screenshot of this, there had about 43 comments, right? So it kind of piques your interest. But one of the biggest problems that I see with this is, who is this attracting? Who do you think they're trying to go after, right? Well, it says immediate remote positions available in November. Who's most likely to click on this or ask for some information? Somebody that wants to start a business, or somebody that is a 9 to 5er, somebody who is looking for a job? Well, the immediate answer is somebody who's looking for a job, right? Immediate remote work positions. Because if you're an entrepreneur looking for another opportunity, you don't want anything to do with that whole 9 to 5 lifestyle. You're not looking for a position. You're looking for a business that you can grow. So immediately right now, you're attracting people who are looking for a job, right? That's a big issue, because once they find out that this is not a job, they get ticked off, right? And this is a huge problem in our industry, because of things that have happened in the past. People don't like the term network marketing. People don't like the term MLM, right? And they're totally pushed away from that. And so now what's uplines are trying to push onto their downlines is using words that kind of talk around the issue, right? But the fact of the matter is that you're looking for people who want to do something outside of that 9 to 5. You're looking for somebody that, hey, if you sell this product, you move it out into the marketplace, you're going to get compensated for it, but you're not going to get paid until you actually produce some work. That's the difference between a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a 9 to 5er. A 9 to 5er, they want to get paid up front, right? Hey, I'm going to give you 8 hours of work. What's my compensation? What am I going to get paid? Okay, I'm going to get paid $20 an hour. Excellent. You show up for work and you work those 2 weeks and you're just doing training, getting along and learning the ropes. You're not actually producing anything for the company, but what? You still expect to be compensated, right? But a business owner or an entrepreneur, they know that, hey, if I don't produce, I don't get paid. That's the mentality. So right here, they're already attracting the wrong person, Does that make sense? Right. So anyway, I wanted to see their process. So I actually made a comment and I said, yeah, I'm interested. And this is what popped. So then they sent me a message on Messenger, right? And I'm just going to kind of read through this for you, okay? And see, you know, if this sounds familiar. And if not, use this as a way to not do this and to craft your message and the people that you are looking for in a way that it attracts the right people and it repels the wrong people, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So then this person reached out to me on Messenger and said, I saw you're interested in my work from home position. I share the amazing health beauty products on social media and with people I know. I walk. I'll walk you through a training program so it doesn't matter if you've never done something like this. Does that sound like something that you'd be interested in? And of course, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Right. This is perfect. This is a health and wellness company with an online store. We have natural plant based products, weight loss, nutrition, active lifestyle, and full beauty skincare line. All are made from natural ingredients and no stimulants. No inventory, no quotas, no risk. We have an amazing setup. Amazing setup for us being successful and not going into debt doing so. Customers order from your website. You don't have to sell a certain amount. I buy products because I love them, but it's not required. And if you've never done something like this before, don't worry. We have a training program and I'll walk you through step by step. We get paid weekly and monthly. It's very flexible and so much fun. Does this sound like something that you would be looking for? All right. So now right off the bat, I see two problems with this because she has a mixed message. First off, she goes into okay, the company and the products and all this other stuff, right? Which add to me, okay, you said that I have a remote position and there's 4,000 bonus weekly, right? So I'm looking for, I need to make 4K. That looks good. I need to make some extra money. I want to know what do I need to do and how much am I going to get paid? That's all that I care about because this is what in her message. And then she goes on about all the products and all this other stuff. And I know your upline may be telling you, well, they need to know all this, stuff that they're doing and they need to know that we're a health and wellness company. We have all these natural ingredients, but I have a question to ask you. So in your previous working experience, and maybe you're currently working at a 9 to 5, right? Let me ask you something. Right, when you applied for a job, did the company specifically go into I don't know exactly, so let's just say that you were working for a health and wellness company, right? And it was a position as a um, the assistant, okay, to the president or something like that. Do you really care about the ingredients that they're all natural? Or are you looking for is this a position that will fit within my lifestyle? Will it compensate me enough that I'll be able to support my family? What do you think is more important to you, right? As long as it's not illegal or unethical, correct? And I would venture to say that you just wanted to know how much you're going to get paid. Is it going to cover all of your expenses? Would you be able to, leave at a certain hour and still have time for your friends? And it's on the up and up, right? You don't care about any of those ingredients. So right now she's trying to sell me on all these ingredients and stuff, and I don't care about that, right? And and so now it goes on. She asks, okay, so it sounds like you're something interesting, but I wanted to go through the process. So I said, yeah, sure. Okay. So then she says, okay, great. Here's my link. Let me know if you have any questions, right? So I click up on her link and it's her online store. So first off, what you may or may not realize is the majority of network marketing companies, they're not set up for online sales like Amazon. And what I mean by Amazon will lead you through a sale, right? And when people want something, all they care about is they want a little bit of information about the product. They want to know how much it is, and they want to know how they're going to get it. That's all they care about, right? And so immediately when you get to this page, there's nothing on there. It's all about the products. right? Now, remember, she just sent me a message on Facebook. Well, I should say she posted something on Facebook about remote work. And then she sends me to her what? She sends me to her online store, and it's all about the products, buying these products, and they have all these, keto coffee and all this other stuff. I don't care about any of that. She approached me, with the attraction of, oh, I could actually be doing something and make 4K, right? So right there, that is a second red flag, because one, she's attracting somebody that is looking for a 9 to 5, or is looking to make some money from a position where they can work from home. Now, um, position leads you to believe that you are going to be working for a company as a regular employee. That's what that says. And this is why I get so fired up, is because this is the you know, same crap, for lack of a better word, that uplines are given to your downlines, and you're going out into the marketplace and you're getting the crap beat out of you because people are tired of being deceived. Right? They just want people to be honest. And you see it nowadays with and then the political environment, right? People just want you to be honest, right? If you believe that the sky is black, right, then just say that, right? Even though it says blue, at least they know where you stand. They just want people to be honest. And because of bad press and because things that have happened before, they're trying to ease that that's, or I should say, they're trying to ease that shock from new people coming in, because they don't want them to get discouraged, because they want them to stay in. But the fact of the matter is that they're going to leave anyway, because they're coming in on the wrong premise. Does that make any sense? So anyway, so I go to this and I'm searching around. I'm trying to find, okay, how do I get paid, right? And so there's a little link. It was really tiny, and it says, become a distributor. And again, remember, she said a position. She didn't say anything about signing up for a business. Does that make any sense? So I click on that, and then the page pulls up, and they have all this, this beautiful layout. You can work from home. You can learn while you earn, and all of this other, nice, fluffy stuff. But it doesn't say anything about how I'm going to get paid. How am I going to make that 4K? And so I scroll all the way down, and guess what? Then it gets to you could sign up for a business pack. You can sign up for this pack, and you can sign up for this in order to get started, right? And then it spells out what is in that pack and specifically how much you have to pay. And the first one was like for $200, the other one was like for 300, and then the big one that you could do was for $400, right? So in my mind, I'm looking at this through the eyes of the consumer, or the eyes of somebody that is looking for a position and wants to earn some money, right? And immediately what I saw is, oh, I have to pay X amount of dollars. You said that there's a position. What is this all about? Now, again, because I've been in this industry, obviously, I'm not going to, immediately, email her and say, this is a scam or whatever. I'm not going to do that, because I've been in this industry, and I know what it requires. There is an investment, right? And that, sets you up and opens up, the compensation and the bonuses and all of that stuff, right? I understand that as a business owner and an entrepreneur. But somebody that this would attract, somebody new to this field, this is their first introduction to it. And right now, if I was a new person, I would say, what in the HE double hockey stick are you talking about? I have to pay in order to be a position? What is this nonsense? Right? So immediately it's giving them a bad taste in the mouth. And what I want you to understand is that when you are building your business, keep this in mind. How somebody comes in is exactly how they're going to feel the rest of the way through the process. And if they have a bad experience and a bad taste in their mouth, they're immediately going to go and they're going to screw this. I don't want to have anything to do with this. And they're going to start telling all their friends on social media, oh, you know what? And again, I pulled up her store, so I knew what the company is. And so they're going to be bad mouthing that company. Now, does that mean that it's a bad company? Absolutely not. But because of the process in what they were doing to attract people, that is what turns people off. Does that make any sense? So the last message that I gave her was, so how much do I get compensated for building and moving products into the marketplace? And this is what they wrote back. Well, we get paid weekly with our four and a friend program, which is 150 and 350 bonuses. We also get paid monthly every time customers order from us and are eligible for a 4K bonus in your first 90 days. 96% of people who start their business, and again, mixed messages. Look, she said position, and that was what at first attracted me. Now she's talking about building a business. So now I'm feeling like I got sucker punched, right? That I got, roped into something, and I am not liking this as a consumer. Does that make sense? Right? Your message has to match. The market to message has to match. So whatever you put out there as an advertisement, whatever you put there on your social media, it has to match when somebody comes through your process. Does that make sense? So if you want somebody to start a business, then what you put out there has to be about starting a business, not, remote positions, from home. I'm sorry, building a business is not a position. Does that make sense? All right. And some people may disagree with me, but I'm here to tell you I've been doing this for a while, and I've been studying human psychology and sales psychology, and people, words matter. And when you start using words like work from home, position, that has the connotation of what? Of a 9 to 5, right? Okay. So, all right, I'm going to get off on a tangent, but she said 96% of the people start their business and earn um, these four and a friend bonuses, and I can show you exactly what to do. How much you make is based on how serious you are about this as a business, but if you are, I can help you through each step. What want to know how to get started? And here's the first thing that came into mind when I read that. I said, how to get started? Absolutely not. Your site told me how to get started. You had no problem telling me how much I have to pay in order to get started, but you still haven't told me how much do I get compensated. If I sell a product, or I say they had a keto coffee, if I sell that keto coffee, how much do I get compensated for that? What's the percentage? Do I get 10%, 20%? Right? I don't need to know about all these bonuses. All I need to know is how do I get paid? If I'm going to put some work into this, I want to know what I'm going to be compensated for it. Does that make any sense? Right? And so I want to contrast this with a so I went to ClickBank, and that is a site where they have people who had created a program, but they are willing to actually pay affiliates, which are people who I will go out and I'll market this for you, and I want a percentage, right? There is no levels or anything like that. It's just a simple, straight. It's what you would consider retail in your business, right? I sell a product, you get 20% of that sale price. Does that make sense? And that's what ClickBank is. And so Rusty Moore, he has a lot of fitness programs, and I actually use and promote some of his programs, utilize that, and it's really great. But I pulled up his affiliate page, right, for new people who want to promote his products. And this is what he says. Really simple, not very complicated, but he says payout to you is 75% of the sale. Most of our products are $37 with upsells. So your average earning that you would make per sale is $25.90. So as an example, if you make 4 sales per day, you'll make $3,000 per month. 11 sales per day, you make $100,000 per year. Really? That's awesome. Straightforward, clear cut. And so now you have all the information. This is what, if you want to build your business and you're looking for business partners, you need to be this clear, because that is what they're looking for. They don't need to know all the frilly stuff. I mean, you could teach them that on the back end, but when you're trying to attract somebody and bring them into your world, you need to make this as easy as possible, right? People don't want hard. People want simple, and they want doable, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, 75%, dude, that's awesome. Okay. So 4 sales per day, 3,000 per month. Okay. I could do that. I could do 4. I could figure out how to make 4. See, but what most network marketing companies do is they have this, all this, this level, double back diamond, this level and stuff, and they make it very complicated, right? And so, as a business owner, what you need to do is that if it is difficult like this, you need to figure out how to break that down and make it as simple as I just showed you with Rusty and his affiliate page. Does that make any sense? And it's funny too, because I get a lot of people that come in that they've left the network marketing industry, and they're like, well, I'm thinking about doing it again, but and I would ask them, well, why did you leave your last company, or why aren't you in the industry anymore? And a lot of the answers that I get is, well, because I didn't get any help from my company. That's the majority of the answers. And the funny thing is that you didn't get any help from your company. Remember, right? We like to promote that we are business builders, right? We like to promote that we are entrepreneurs, right? That we are building our own business. Well, I hate to tell you, but a business owner and an entrepreneur is the person who solves problems, right? They're not looking for somebody to actually save them. They go and they solve problems. Do you think Bill Phillips of EAS way back in the day, do you think that he was looking for somebody, to help him? Or is he like, I'm going to try and figure this out? I just bought this supplement company and how am I going to grow this, right? He figured it out. That's what entrepreneurs do. Now, what do 9 to 5 people do? They go into a business and what? All right, okay, what is your training program? You need to teach me. What do I need to do in this position? They're looking for, you need to show me, right? For the most part, right? And again, as an employee, that's why they get paid the way that they do, is because the system has already been created, right? They don't have to build the business from scratch. The business has been built. They have a position and they need to fill that position. That's the mentality of a 9 to 5er. And so when you are bringing in people to your business that have that 9 to 5 mentality, they're always going to be complaining. They're always going to be, well, my upline didn't do this and my upline didn't do this. But I'm here to tell you that your company, they've done a lot for you, right? And I didn't realize this when I first started. And over the years of me being in this industry, me being building a business and being an entrepreneur, I started to evolve and started to realize. But these companies, what do they do? So let's take your company, okay? Well, let's just take the average network marketing company, which is mostly supplements, right? And I know that there's others that are out there, but let's just take a supplement company. What does that company do? Well, first off, they had to get the trademarking, right? And that is a nightmare in itself. I mean, when I had a small business, having to jump through all those hoops just to get my LLC, and then you had to get your logo and you had to do all that stuff. Oh my God, it was a nightmare, right? They had to go through all that stuff and they had to pay for that. On top of the fact, then they had to decide, okay, what products do we want? And then they had to go out to a manufacturer to find somebody that would be able to actually manufacture all this stuff, right? The sourcing. And they had to set up all the distribution channels and the relationships in order to get those products to their warehouse. And then on top of that, they had to set up the the mail system, right? In order to get the shipping, right? They had to set up all of that stuff. So when orders come through, guess what? Then they had to ship out those products, and they can get it out into the people in a reasonable manner. On top of the fact that what? They had to set up their warehouse and shipping, the shipping and receiving, that whole process on. And there's no like a lot of ready-made stuff. I mean, a lot of these companies, they got to build this from the ground up, right? On top of the fact that not only did they have to go through all the sourcing, but a lot of companies that when they produce the products, they don't let you. They don't give you anything on credit. There's usually a bulk order, standard order, which is anywhere from like 20 to 30. It could be $100,000 up front that the company has to pay in order for them to produce the bottles or whatever it is that they're making, right? So the company had to do that. So the company has already done a whole lot. And then again, for distributors to complain and say, well, my upline didn't give me a lot of help, in the sense of, well, they didn't show me what to do. But again, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that all uplines are bad or any of that other stuff. But what I'm saying is that when you come in to this network marketing company as a business owner, guess what? The product and all that back end stuff has already been taken care of. Your job is to figure out how to get it into the marketplace and how to do that in a successful way. And then once you are able to figure that out, then you show other distributors that you're bringing on your team how to follow that same system. But that's what an entrepreneur does. An entrepreneur is the one that figures out those problems, right? And an entrepreneur is also the one that if they come into a place and the system isn't working, or they're not making sales fast enough and they're losing money, then it's your job to figure out, how do I do this better? How do I find another way? That's where I found myself a few years ago. And I was like, I'm not doing this the way that my upline is telling me. I'm not going back to my family and friends. I'm not going to, keep hounding, the people that are in my organization or my front line, trying to get them to get more people to me. I'm going to see what successful business owners do outside of this, area. I'm going to see what other people who are selling, supplements, how are they selling, 1,000, 10,000? How are they making $1 million, like in a month, selling just like one particular type of supplement? How are they doing that? And they don't have a sales force. How are they doing that? Right. And so I went on a journey to figure that out. Does that make any sense? Right. Um, and so I share all of this with you is because I want us to be better. We have a great product. This industry is awesome. But when we do things like what I just showed you with a, covert type of information, which is leading somebody into a certain outcome, and then you kind of flip it around and that, they feel like, they've been duped. People hate that. People don't want to feel like they have been, like I said, they don't want to feel like they've been duped. And if you're looking for somebody to start their own business, well, then you need to craft a message that attracts that right person, right? And if I was going to do this over, one, I would figure out, okay, how exactly is somebody going to make money? And I would just keep it simple. How do you make your first $1,000, right? And I would go through personally through the compensation plan, and I would figure out, okay, well, they need to get, this many customers. And if they're getting this many customers per month, they'll be making, X amount of dollars per month. Just like I shared with you with Rusty and his affiliate page. It has to be that simple, because if it's complicated, people are not going to want to do it, right? Does that make any sense? Right? And it's not being deceitful or anything like that. It is you have to be that bridge between where people are and the result that they want to get. And once you do that, remember in the my previous episode when I talked about, if you want to be successful, you have to serve. You have to solve their problems, all right? They're already struggling. People are already struggling. They don't need to struggle anymore. And I was going around and around on this site for about 30 minutes before I finally say, okay, I'm going to email her. How do I make money? Right. And again, as you saw, she still was kind of cryptic. I mean, she showed bonuses and stuff in 4K, but yeah, she was, that doesn't tell me anything. What do I need to do? How many sales do I need to make? If you contrast that with what I just showed you with Rusty just said, you get this a percentage when you make a sale of my program. All right. The average compensation is 25 bucks, right? And so if you make 4 sales a day, you're making this amount. You make 11 sales a day, you're making this amount per year, right? Super simple, straightforward. I can understand that even at, my level, because I'm not a math genius, I can figure that out. Does that make any sense? So I know this went a little bit long, but again, I wanted to jump on here and I wanted to show you, because this is what ticks off people. This is what turns people off in our industry, and we have to be better. If we want to be able to compete with other, global brands, and I'm talking about, the FedExes and the Amazons and, the Apples of the world, if we want to compete with them, then we need to model the type of process that they have. People go to Amazon. Why? One, because it gives them all the information upfront, straightforward. They don't have to search for it, right? It's right there at their fingertips. And number two, have you ever been through the Amazon checkout process? It is the easiest. It is the less painful, I should say. Yeah, it's not very painful. It's a great experience. That's why people keep ordering from Amazon, and that's why they're willing to pay that Prime monthly shipment. As a matter of fact, okay, guilty as charged. My wife and I were on Prime, but the reason is because they make it so easy. You get into these network marketing companies, and oh my God, it's like they hate money. Right? It's like I have to fight tooth and nail just to try to figure out where I can get the product. And no, I don't want to be a distributor. How much does the product cost and how can I get it? No, I don't want to sign up for a distributorship. No, I don't want to sign up for all these accounts and stuff. I just want to order the product. Does that make sense? And that's why people shy away from this. And I think, a lot of the network marketing, companies, they're starting to kind of realize it. Not really. It's still up to us to kind of filter people through, to kind of lead them through the sale, right? If you just send somebody to a website, I'm telling you, if I was contrasting this with Amazon, I'm telling you, Amazon would beat them hands down. Why? Because Amazon leads me through the sale. Very simple, very easy. This other site that I went to that she sent me to, no, very difficult and very irritating. And when people are irritated, they are not going to pull out their wallet. I'm sorry. I don't care how great that product is, they're not going to do it. They would rather have a less irritable experience for a more or should I say less effective product. And that's just the truth. Honestly, God, right? I think we have the best products, and I love network marketing companies. They do have the best products, but let's call a spade a spade. Our sales processes suck. They really do, right? And that's why so many people will buy, from Walmart. They'll buy from Amazon. Why? Are those the best products? No. A lot of them, because they're filled with a bunch of fillers. That's why they're so cheap. But guess what? They have a great checkout process, and that's why people purchase from them. People know up front they're not feeling that they got duped, right? They don't feel stupid. They feel good that they made that purchase. That's what we need to do when we are presenting our business, when we are presenting our product. Does that make any sense? I hope you got some value out of this. Again, I apologize for this being so long, but I wanted to go over that. I have to share that because this is what we do, and I don't want us to be like this anymore. But if you want to know how to craft messages and build a team, and also be able to get product in the marketplace where people don't hate you and actually enjoy buying from you, then click the link below. Ask to join our Facebook group where I go into more detail with this. But as always, that's all that I have for you. You have an awesome day, and I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to hear more of how the top income earners are actually building their network marketing business beyond their family and friends, please subscribe so you don't miss any of the secret hacks that I uncover.